It's an electric atmosphere at Dragon Stadium at South Lake as it's time to take the lid off the 2015 Class 6A high school football playoffs. Hi, everybody. Chuck Kelly, along with Kelly Milligan, Travis Smith on the sidelines of the Metro Sports crew as we are moments away from starting this football game. The Dragons at 8-2, the Longhorns at 9-1. The officials for tonight's game are out of the Fort Worth chapter. Let's meet these gentlemen.
Bill Theodore, referee, Fort Worth.
Mike Martin, umpire, Carrollton.
Thomas Bean, head linesman, Mesquite.
Kevin Yarbrough, line judge, Fort Worth.
John Wynn, back judge, Fort Worth.
It's 54 degrees, a light breeze out of the south at about 5 to 10 miles an hour. We're ready to get it started as the foot into the football. Maverick Montiel kicks it down to the Dragon 30. It's a short kick. It's by Shamar Coleman out beyond the 35, goes to the left sideline to the 37, and that's where the Dragons will have it first down and 10 yards to go. As the Dragons go first and 10 from their own 38-yard line, the little inside shovel pass goes to Shamar Coleman coming from left to right, and he'll skitter to the hash marks at the 40-yard line. And he'll have a gain of about 2 yards before Joseph Lamont, the nose guard, makes the tackle.
Carroll kind of mixing it up on the opening play, going with that little shovel pass out of jet sweep motion, but the front and the middle of the Cedar Hill defense stays home. Coleman makes the cut, and there are just Longhorns there to greet him.
Two receivers left and right. The Dragons second down and 8, just underway from the Dragon 40-yard line. Mason Holmes, the quarterback, looks to the near sideline for the play call, sticks with the play they've got, takes the shotgun snap, fires out right side, complete. 45-yard line, Zach Farrar over to the right sideline, gets a gain of 5 yards before he's hit in the back by Dimitri Moore, the outside linebacker, and Jamil Moore. So the Dragons will bring up a third down at about 3 from the Carroll 45, who played 1 minute in the football game. Carroll going from east to west, that is left to right as we look at it here in the opening quarter. From the 45, Holmes looks to the near sideline. Now has the play call. Going to stick with what they got again. 3-man rush for Cedar Hill. Snap to Holmes. Looks for the receiver. And on the slant pass, it's caught for the first down across the 50. Over the left side to the 47 in Cedar Hill territory goes Lil Jordan Humphrey. It's a gain of 8 before Jamil Moore makes the tackle.
Cedar Hill going 30 front. They've got one deep safety, and everybody else is kind of floating there in the zone. 2 guys on Lil Jordan Humphrey, but inside shoulder position does a nice job making the grab for the first down. 3 plays in the game for the Dragons. 3 passes and 3 completions for quarterback Mason Holmes, who will dump it out in the flat right side. Caught Humphrey, running room, goes right to the 45 to the 40, and he's going to be for the first down at the 38-yard line. Josh Neiman, this backup strong safety on the tackle. Little swing pass in space, and away Humphrey went. And again, Neiman back there as the deep safety. They've shown mostly man-free in this possession. Neiman's back there as center field, but everybody else is kind of up close.
Jet sweep motion, toss. Shamar Coleman going from right to left, and he gets inside the line of scrimmage, the 37, down near the 35-yard line, a couple of yards before Greg Jackson and DeAndre Carter combine on the stop. They've run that play twice now, each time for a couple of yards.
One to the right, one to the left. What you want to do, if you can, is spread the Cedar Hill defense out sideline to sideline and maybe open up the running lanes in the middle for Humphrey.
Second down 8 from the 35. Handed off Shamar Coleman, trying to wiggle his way over at left tackle. He'll get inside the 35, down to the 33 before he's brought down. That's the first running play of this opening drive for the Dragons. Getting a couple of yards. Robert Thomas credited with the tackle for Cedar Hill, so that brings up third down and 5.
And the running play, if nothing else, keeps this Longhorn defense honest. They can't just sit back in coverage if they know they've got to cover the line of scrimmage. Coleman making a nice little cut there, too, at the left side there on the line of scrimmage.
Third down and 5 for the Dragons from the Cedar Hill 32. Going to pass right side. It is complete inside the 25. First down for the Dragons to the 22. Goes Zach Farrar. A 10-yard completion for Farrar, who gets his 43rd catch of the year. Sutton and McGarry on the tackle.
Very nice catch. He had Sutton all over him, wearing him like a sweater. That's a catch Farrar probably doesn't make week 2 of the season. His concentration has gotten so much better.
Cedar Hill takes a timeout. 9:15 to go opening quarter as the Dragons on the march. Well, the Dragons have moved the football from down in their own end of the field all the way to the Cedar Hill 22. And Kelly, I don't think that Joey McGuire liked what he saw at all as the Dragons were marching down the field, and he just wanted to stop things and let his defense get a breather here early. And again, if you're just tuning in, the Dragons on the opening drive have moved down to the Cedar Hill 22-yard line. They play off the right side hash and will put 2 receivers wide to the left side two short side of the right, and they snap it out of the Wildcat. Little Jordan Humphrey is going to run straight ahead as he gets inside the 20 and is pulled down near the 19, a gain of about 3 yards before Colby McGarry. 3 more combined on the tackle, so the Dragons go Wildcat there for the first time, Kelly.
And in a way to keep the ground game going, establish the run, they're going to try to find a lot of different ways to do it. You're going to see more Wildcat tonight.
Ninth play of the drive coming up as they sneak Humphrey out in a trip set. He's between the two other receivers, Duhon and Coleman out to the left, single receiver Farrar to the right. Second down and 7. From the 19-yard line, snap to Holmes. He has plenty of time, fires left side, caught at the 10-yard line. There's a marker down. Coleman with the reception as he gets his legs chopped out from under him inside the 5, gets all the way down to the 2-yard line. It's 17 yards if the play stands, but there was a flag thrown right over by where the catch was made. So let's see what this is all about.
Watching the replay, didn't see anything along the line of scrimmage, so kind of a mystery call here. We'll see what we get.
Here's Bill Theodore to tell us about it.
Eventually.
Pass interference on the offense, number 5. 15-yard penalty, remains second down.
Well, that hurts. The Dragons were about to be at the 2-yard line with a first down. Instead, they're going to march it back 15 the other direction. And Carroll's going to be facing a second down, 8:31 to go in a scoreless first quarter. As we go to the sidelines, the Duff's famous wings. Update with Travis.
Well, quickly out of that timeout, the Longhorns did make an adjustment. Gary came over, double-teamed Zach Farrar with Eric Sutton, so that seems to be the adjustment they're going to try and make.
Well, they're playing press right now on Farrar as he lines up short side to the right. They'll line up a short slot right, 2 receivers also to the left, and hand it off on 2nd and 22. And Lil Jordan Humphrey breaks up the middle inside the 30, down to 25, and he's near the 23. So he gets 11 yards, gets a good piece of the penalty yardage back for the Dragons. Josh Neiman and Dimitri Moore on the tackle.
But the problem for the Dragon offense is you find yourself very much behind the chains at 3rd and 11. Picking up a 3rd down and short is tough on this defense, but this is going to be a tall order.
Humphrey splits out all the way to the left. 2 receivers wide to the left, 2 short side right on 3rd down and 11 from the Cedar Hill 23. No score in the opening drive for the Dragons. They shift Coleman to the running back to the right. The quarterback Holmes handed the football. Big room up the middle. Gets to the 20, wiggles 15, inside the 10, down to the 5, and he's to the 1-yard line. 22 yards on a burst up the middle by Shamar Coleman. Jamil Moore and Robert Wright on the tackle, but the Dragons are knocking on the door.
Excellent call by Clayton George. The little draw play to Shamar Coleman. Ezard with a key block to spring Coleman. Dragons goal to go.
First down and goal from the 1. Snap it. Humphrey straight ahead. Burrows into the end zone. Touchdown Dragons. There is also a marker on the play, so let's see if this stands up.
And nothing fancy. Nothing fancy there.
Offsides on the defense. Penalty is declined. Result of the play is a touchdown.
You were saying?
Well, there you go. Nothing fancy about that play. Just line up, give it to Lil Jordan, and he goes barreling through the left side of the line behind Tribble and Ezard in for the score. Nice way to capitalize and overcome that pass interference call.
Cole Ramage, perfect on the year. PATs 53 out of 53. And there is a marker down, as I think Cedar Hill might have had too many men.
Penalties half the distance to the goal. The try count.
That's exactly what happened, as Bill Theodore tells us that. So I'm not sure if the Dragons have to take the penalty, do they? I guess they do. It'll be a 1-yard mark off, and now the extra point will come from the 9-yard line, so it becomes even more chippy for Ramage, who has been, again, perfect on the year. Out of the hold of Montana Murphy, the point after attempt brought to you by County Commissioner Gary Fickus. Good hold, ball on the tee, and the kick on the way. It is good. Timeout on the field. Great start for the Dragons. 7:20 to go first quarter. It's Carroll 7 and Cedar Hill nothing. 7:20 to go first quarter. The Dragons draw first blood 7-0 on the 1-yard scoring run by Lil Jordan Humphreys. Jake Oldroyd approaches the Sewell Cadillac of Grapevine. Kickoff from the 40-yard line will go 8 yards deep in the end zone where Malik Orr hauls it in. And Cedar Hill will have it on the touchback at their own 25-yard line. 11 plays, 62 yards, took 4 minutes and 40 seconds. And the Dragons on top 7-0. And now the Carroll defense comes out to meet this vaunted Cedar Hill offense. The quarterback Avery Davis ready to get things going as he's going to line up 3 men in the backfield. that inverted diamond formation, inverted wishbone, I should say, around him, kind of a pistol look. It's a handoff on first down, and Kagan Williams gets chopped down right at the line of scrimmage. That was a straight give to Williams, the junior running back, and Ivy Seacat caught him. So no gain on the play. It'll bring up second down and 10.
Lucky he didn't end up losing a yard there. Nice penetration by Seacat. He blew that up.
Kagan Williams, Marquise Foreman, and Lonnie Burgess in the backfield as they run that three-back set again, as Davis will put it in the belly of the running back, and coming around the end goes Jalen Jackson. Want to get him the football, but he goes right and is chopped down for a gain of maybe a yard on the play. In fact, they're going to say he's right at the 25, so call it no gain, 3rd and 10.
Jackson again getting his first action on the season tonight. He's normally a running back, but has played receiver the last year or so. Not able to do much against that Dragon defense. 3rd and long for the Longhorns.
Jalen Jackson will come as a receiver to the left side. 2 receivers left, actually 3 now, as they line up a wing this way. 1 receiver to the right, and they empty the backfield as Avery Davis calls 3rd down and 10. Shotgun snap, Dragons 3 on the rush. They throw deep downfield. They had a man wide open over the sidelines. It's incomplete. Jackson couldn't hold on to it. Near midfield, they had him open, but the pass across the chalk, and the Dragons force a 3-and-out Cedar Hill offense.
Lucky break for the Dragons that Jackson does not hang on to that ball. He's running just a fly pattern down the sideline, and there was nobody around, and he makes that catch.
Punt time for Cedar Hill. Josh Stewart. That it was his teammate Charleston Ram in Nevada. It's Stewart heading out. He is a honorable mention all-state punter, and this kick comes short, hits at the 50. Dragons away from it as it rolls down to the Carroll 40 to 33-yard punt, and the Dragons will have the football, first down and 10 with 6:02 to go here in the opening quarter. Dragons from their own 43-yard line. They go off the left side hash. Will put one receiver to the left, 3 wide. In the back, handed to Shamar Coleman on first down, and he'll get out across the 45 as he went right up the gut to the 47, a gain of about 4 on the play before DeAndre Carter making the stop.
Cedar Hill looking at those trips set out to the wide side of the field, and then for our backside, they think pass play is coming. Coleman just shows a nice little wiggle move right before the line of scrimmage, picks up 3-4 on first down, good positive yardage.
Cam Duhon and Shamar Coleman line up to the left side. Near side is Zach Farrar and Lil Jordan Humphrey as they snap to the quarterback Holmes, and he'll hand it off to Jack Johansson, who's in the backfield, and he will get 3 yards to the 50-yard line. So for the Dragons on the ground now early on, that's their 7th rush for 46 yards. They have passed the ball 6 times for 38.
They can average 6 a carry on the ground. That's what you want.
It's working. 3rd down and 3. Dragons from the midfield stripe with a 7-0 lead, and the pass comes right side. It's caught at the 45 for a first down. They got inside Eric Sutton. It's a gain of 5, first down Dragons.
Nice catch by Farrar as he goes to the ground. Doesn't trap it, pulls it in, gets the arms under it, moves the chains. Dragons now 4 of 4 on 3rd down tonight, Chuck.
Farrar lines up short side to the right, 3 receivers wide to the left on 1st and 10 from the Cedar Hill 45. Mason Holmes throws over near the boundary. It's incomplete as it bounced to the turf in front of Shamar Coleman. First incompletion for Holmes, Kelly, after starting 7 for 7.
And that was really just a bad throw. I mean, the guy was open, and he's going to find that. So far tonight, Cedar Hill trying to cover deep. They're leaving a lot underneath, and Mason Holmes has done a good job taking advantage of it in the early going.
I want to say hi to our buddy Ned Pearson, who's checking in from Knoxville, Tennessee tonight.
Rocky Top.
He must be there for that UNT game tomorrow. I want to say hi to Ned. He's filled in for Brian Sperry a couple of times on our crew. Good friend of the Dragons of high school football. Here's a handoff on 2nd down and 10 from the 45, and Lil Jordan Humphrey will go straight ahead for 3 yards as he gets down near inside the 42-yard line. Dimitri Moore, the guy they call Mimi, on the stop for Cedar Hill.
And Mason Holmes decided to keep that on the zone take off to the right side. He had plenty of yardage in front of him. Cedar Hill knows they need to respect his running ability, but they kind of fell asleep right there.
The Dragons are averaging 11 yards plus on 3rd down. It's a perfect 4 for 4, but this one might be a bit of a stretch. third down and 7 from the Cedar Hill 42. Carroll leading 7-0 early as the snap to Holmes. He fires a slant over the middle. It's caught short of the first down at the 38-yard line. Lil Jordan Humphrey is pushed back to the 40, but the forward progress will bring it into a fourth down and short situation as Reitzel and Watts combine on the tackle.
So what do you do here in the early going? This might be a little long for even Jake Oldroyd. On the other hand, you've shown that you can run the ball and hit the short stuff underneath. Carroll's going to leave the offense out on the field. Go for it on 4th and 3.
So a big play early. The Dragons with a 7-point 4th and 3 at the 38-yard line. They line up 2 receivers left and right. Snap it to Holmes, hand it off, running play. Coleman bounces outside right, has the first down, inside the 35, down to the 31, a gain of 7 before Colby McGarry, the safety, makes the tackle. Another Dragon first down.
And that was nothing fancy either. That's just a straight give, outside zone play, stretch to Coleman. He is so quick, and he makes his cut back inside the corner and gets the first down.
Here is the snap to Holmes on 1st down and 10. Handed to Humphrey. Sheds a tackler at the 30. Comes right to the 25, and he's down to the 23-yard line. Gain of 9 on the play. We're down on 3:07, and the clock stopped here in the first quarter. Dragons on top 7-0. Beeman and Sutton credited with that last tackle.
So the Dragons can be the aerial circus. Tonight, it's not so much finesse. They're being physical. Offensive line blowing the Longhorns off the ball, and they are pounding them on the ground.
Here's the snap on 2nd down and 2. Give it to Humphrey, and on a running play, he'll have the first down to the 20. It's a pickup of 3 later. The leading tackler for Cedar Hill, returning starter, the Will linebacker, made that stop for the Longhorns.
And the more Carroll is able to pound the Cedar Hill defense on the ground, the more Cedar Hill is going to have to put guys in the box, and that's going to open things up in the passing game. Carroll being very deliberate with the strategy here. So far, anyway, working very much according to Hoyle.
1st down and 10 from the 20-yard line, going to the end zone at our right as they will give it on a running play to Jack Johansson. Boy, Clayton George, the offensive coordinator, using all his toys early as he gets a gain of 3 to Johansson down to the 17-yard line before guard Joseph Lamont makes the tackle.
Good to see Johansson getting carries early. That's recognition that the guy is a legitimate back and a definite weapon in this offense. Nice to see them incorporating him.
2nd down 10 for the Dragons. 2nd down 7, beg your pardon, as they get down to the 17. And they'll give it to Coleman. Breaks a tackle inside the 15. Still churning down close to the first down, just short of the 10. He's going to be about a yard short. Greg Jackson, Josh combining for the Longhorns on the tackle, but we're down on 2 minutes to go in the first quarter. The Dragons looking at a 3rd and 1. They come right up to the line of scrimmage at the 11-yard line. They go out of the Wildcat set, snap it, Lil Jordan Humphrey goes straight ahead, and he's thrown to the turf at the 10. Going to be very close for the first down as Javontes Johnson, JJ, came up and made the hit from that outside linebacker spot. They may have to measure here, Kelly.
Now they're going to call this 4th down.
Yep, they are indeed.
And
so
from
no
the spot, that maybe not the most generous spot in the world. He could have fallen forward and probably gotten the first down, but now the Dragons going for down conversion on the night.
Yep, they're going to go out of the Wildcat, snap it. Lil Jordan Humphrey runs right, finds a seam, first down inside the 10, gets down near the 6-yard line. A gain of 4 on the play. Greg Jackson on the tackle. The Dragons rolling the dice again on 4th down, and they convert.
Chase Sanford and Carson Green doing man's work over there on the right side. They made the hole, and Lil Jordan's leg drive just got right on through.
1st down and goal to go from the 7-yard line. Mason Holmes with Shamar Coleman lined up to his left. 2 receivers left, 2 right. Again, 5 sneaking up close to the line of scrimmage for the Cedar Hill Longhorn defense. Dragons ready to go. 1st down and goal at the 7. Holmes has the play call from the sidelines. Takes the snap. Throws down around the 3-yard line. Nice catch made and a spin move. It is Duhan hit at the 2-yard line. Will actually now back it out closer to the 3. And that's going to get him 4 yards closer to the end zone. Jackson and Rader on the tackle. I thought when he caught the football, he's going to have room to spin and get in the end zone, but good penetration and coverage there by the defense.
He was trying to reverse field, but these are good open field tacklers on the Cedar Hill defense. Still, though, nice play call. You pounded it around. You go to Slot, who's maybe the guy getting overlooked in this receiving core, and Duhan delivered.
Out of the Wildcat formation, they snap it to Shamar Coleman. He runs left. He burrows to the end zone. He is short by the length of a football, perhaps. He was oh so close on what's going to be the final play of the first quarter as the clock is down to 9 and 8 and 7. The Dragons are actually hurrying to the line of scrimmage. It might not be the last play. They go out of the Wildcat. The football with 1 second left, and little Jordan Humphrey will try to barrel in, and he is in for the score. Touchdown Dragons. Little Jordan Humphrey, as they snap play with less than a second to go, and he went right at left guard, and he's in for the touchdown, and Carroll leads it 13-0.
His second 1-yard touchdown run of the night. And you know, there's a psychological thing to that, Chuck. Going up 2 scores at the end of one period, you got to kind of like that if you're Hal Wasson and Clayton George.
Well, second and even third effort. Our spotter, Brandon Carpenter, says that was what got little Jordan Humphrey into the end zone, and the point after brought to you by Commissioner Gary Fickus. Good by Cole Ramage, and that ends the first quarter. Through 1, it's the Dragons 14 and the Cedar Hill Longhorns.
The first quarter.
The Class 6A playoffs underway, and good news early for the Dragons. Through 1 quarter, it's been all Carroll Dragons here in the Class 6A Division II bi-district playoff game at Dragon Stadium. 14-0, Carroll on top. That last touchdown coming at the end of the first quarter. The 1-yard plunge by little Jordan Humphrey, who gets his 13th touchdown rushing of the year, capping an Ozarka 16-play, 57-yard drive that took 6 minutes and 2 seconds. And wait till you see these first quarter statistics. Give them to you in a moment as the approach in the Sewell Cadillac of Grapevine kickoff is pooched down to the Cedar Hill 25-yard line and going straight ahead with a return of about 8 yards up to the 33-yard line went Miracle Broussard. Love that name, and that's going to be where Cedar Hill starts. First down and 10 yards to go. Carroll 84 yards rushing, Cedar Hill none. Carroll 50 yards passing, Cedar Hill none. Carroll 134 yards total offense, Cedar Hill none. Those the quarter numbers. We have more. After the first down snap, and Avery Davis heads for the left sideline, gets from the line of scrimmage to the 33, goes out of bounds up around the 36. The first positive play yardage-wise for the Longhorns as Robert Barnes bumped him out of bounds, a gain of about 3. Let me keep going, Kelly. First downs in the first quarter. Carroll 8, Cedar Hill none. Carroll ran 27 plays compared to 3 for the Longhorns. Time of possession 10:42 for the Dragons, 1:18 for the Longhorns. That, sir, is complete and domination.
But can you keep the pace? We got 3 more quarters to play.
Second down and 7 from the 36-yard line. Snap to Davis, had 2 men in the backfield, hands it to Foreman, who comes to the right, spins across the 35, gets out to the 40-yard line. Gang tackle there by the Dragons. A gain of 5 yards on the play. Ryan Thompson, the Sam linebacker, was the first there, but he had a lot of help coming over, and it will bring up third down for Cedar Hill.
Well played by the Dragon D. Part of the problem with the multiplicity of running backs and receivers, safeties have got to hesitate, make sure they know which way the play is going, then fly downhill fast. With the speed Cedar Hill has, that's an extra 3 yards per carry.
3 men in the backfield, Williams, Foreman, and Burgess, along with the quarterback. Avery Davis will line up right in the middle of them. Third down and 2 at the Cedar Hill 41. Playing off the right side hash, snap to Davis, handoff, straight running play. Williams tries to his way across the 40, and he's jammed up at the 41. He's short of the first down because Barrett Buck, the little safety, came in right first to meet him, and he had a whole lot of help, and the Dragons stop him for no gain on a power play. Cedar Hill looking at a 4th and 2. Are they seriously thinking about going for it? Nope. Here comes the punt team.
Yeah, and Barrett Buck says, yeah, I've seen your video. Flies downhill. And just as Williams is ready to make that cut out on the left side, kind of the edge of the formation, Buck flies in and clobbers him, stops him short.
Nobody deep for the Dragons. They are smelling a rat here on 4th down and 2 from the Cedar Hill 41-yard line. It is the short snap, trying to get a man loose around the left end near the 40. First down out to the 45-yard line goes Colby McGarry, and he will get it out near the 47. So everybody knew the fake was in play, and still Cedar Hill able to convert it as Colby McGarry takes it back for the Longhorns, gets the first down on a gain of 5 yards.
Not a terribly well-disguised fake punt. I think everyone in the stadium suspected that one. Dragons, again, as you mentioned, with nobody back. But Dragons had a chance to stop McGarry 2 yards or shy of the marker. He just spun out of the hit, and Cedar Hill gets a fresh set of downs.
Cedar Hill with a tight end to the right and two receivers either side as they empty the backfield. So Avery Davis, standing in his own 40, takes the shotgun snap. Dragons with a four-man rush. Davis tucks it down, now wants to run, has room, goes left, 50. Left sideline to the 45 and down to the Carroll 43. Obi Ebo bumps him out, a gain of 11 and another Cedar Hill first down.
And that's just the kind of play that's tailor-made for Avery Davis. Nobody open, plenty of field in front of him because the Carroll defenders are committed. He had a lot of yards to run there. Ebo does a nice job breaking off coverage and delivering the hit. And that's probably one Avery will feel in the morning.
Foreman, Williams, and Jackson all in the backfield. Again, the inverted bone either side of Davis, who takes the snap, puts it in the belly of Foreman. He comes right, he's chopped down for a yard beyond the line of scrimmage inside 43, down to the 42. Jacob Murphy, the junior safety, came in to knock him down.
The inverted diamond could be tough to defend if you don't see a lot of running teams because you don't know necessarily who's going to get it. It works in many ways like the triple options you used to see at OU, like you see out of Georgia Tech now. But Carroll doing so far a pretty good job playing assignment football, figuring out who's got the ball, not being fooled. And a lot of these rushing plays have gone for very short yardage in the early going.
Tight end Stewart to the left, two receivers to the right, one receiver wide to the left as well. Snapping to Davis, play fake, standing near the 50, fires deep, caught at the 15 and strolling into the end zone. Charleston Rambo for the touchdown. 42 yards on the strike from Avery Davis. And the Dragon lead is cut now to 14-6.
High snap. Davis has a little bit of an issue getting it down, but he's looking all the way. Rambo on a seam route between the half. Carroll defender slips. That was Jackson Davis, I think, trying to cover. Rambo just outruns everybody to the end zone.
Maverick Montiel, who is 39 out of 43 on the year, point after touchdowns. Right-footed soccer-style kicker on for the PAT. Dragons get good rush, but out of the hold of Jalen Sims. The PAT is good. 9:16 to go opening quarter. Our new scorer becomes Carroll 14 and Cedar Hill 7. And Cedar Hill slices the gap in half. It's now 14-7 Carroll as Maverick Montiel approaches and hits the kickoff from the 40-yard line. And it will be fielded at the Dragon 11 by Jack Johansson. Comes back up the hash marks on the left side to the 15 to the 20, and he's knocked out at the 21. It's where the Dragons will start first and 10. Dust's Famous Wings sideline update with Travis.
Well, if you think you have a safe lead against Cedar Hill, the only time they lost this year, it was a game they were trailing most of the time against Mansfield. Avery Davis threw for 430 yards and 6 touchdowns. Rambo had 163 of those yards and a touchdown, and the other wide receiver, Stewart, 112 and 2 touchdowns. Only time all year they threw for over 300 yards. So they are capable of coming back in a big way.
But right now the Dragons ready to flow. First down and 10 from their own 20-yard line as the snap to Montana Murphy, and he will hand it to Mason Holmes, and he'll hand it to Lil Jordan Humphrey. Flashback there to week 1, beg your pardon. And it is Humphrey who will get a short gain of about 4 yards on the play. Deontay Carter was the man on the tackle.
I mean, I know the uniform numbers are a little tough to read on these jerseys, but
Dragons in all black with the green numerals and white trim, white headgear. Of course, in my defense, Montana Murphy is the holder, and we see a lot of him, especially on big touchdown nights. Out of the Wildcat, here is Coleman running straight ahead on 2nd and 6 from the 25 across the 30, gets the first down out to the 33. That's a gain of 8. Josh Neiman, the junior strong safety, on the tackle for Cedar Hill.
That was really well blocked by the Carroll offensive front. Coleman had a nice running lane.
That's the 9th first down of the game for the Dragons, but only the 3rd first down in the game that's come before a 3rd down need. How about that? Picked up 4 first downs on 3rd down, 2 on game. Here's a 1st and 10 pass on the left end. Jordan Humphrey, Jamil on the bridge, and they're very late tag at the play. And a Cedar Hill lost his. Let's see if there might be some illegal hands. Bill Theodore, referee. This is a good crew out of the Fort Worth. He is about to, well, he's still conferring. One of his mates is about to tell us what's coming.
After the play, personal foul on the defense, number 99. 16-yard penalty.
Will not. No, nor did jumping in celebration by by more might have gotten the flag. Didn't think they should necessarily, but didn't see any catches.
Wow. Well, that's one. You get one shot at replay here on the board at Dragon Stadium. Didn't see it there. Travis, Steph's Famous Wings sideline update. Did you have a look?
Yeah, it looked like Ezard was the one who kind of was getting into it after the end of the play, but I guess they said Cedar Hill was the aggressor in that case.
Well, take Lamont out, put in Glenn Waters. Is on first down and 10. They'll hand it to Shamar Coleman, and he'll get 2 yards from the Dragon 48 to the midfield stripe. They stop him right in the middle of the Carroll emblem. Inside the white state of Texas at the 50-yard line. Glenn Waters, who just came in at the nose guard, made that tackle.
Yeah, Waters is a guy that can fill in at end or at D tackle or nose tackle. With Thomas back and healthy, he's going to spend most of his time playing at the nose tonight.
Second down and 8 from the midfield stripe. Dragons from right to left, west to east here in quarter number 2, leading 14-7. Holmes looks to the near sideline for the play call. They stay with what they got. 2 receivers either side, 3-man rush for Cedar Hill. They're going to hand it off. Goes up the middle again, and he gets a short gain inside the 50. He gets to the 47. That's a gain of 3. That gives Carroll 100 yards rushing so far on 21 carries. We're not even halfway through the second quarter yet, so the Dragons on the ground as Rader and Neiman combine on that last tackle. So Shamar Coleman with that gain to the 47. They need to get to the 42. So here's third down and 5 for the Dragons. They're 5 of 7 on third down tries. Snap to Holmes. Can't find a receiver. Tucks it down. Runs right. Here comes the posse. He's in trouble. He's dropped right at the line of scrimmage. And that will bring up fourth down as Colby McGarry, who we saw a moment ago, convert that fake punt that right now is a very big play in this game. And on the tackle right there for Cedar Hill, it'll be fourth down. The Dragons, I would think, will punt this away.
Yep, here comes the punt team. But the athleticism of the Cedar Hill defense made that play. Everybody covered, so Holmes has no choice but to take off and run. When he runs, they break off coverage, get to him quickly and stop from converting.
Quickly to Travis, Dust Famous Wings, sideline update.
Holmes was looking for Duhan, but Wrightsil had him just blanketed, and after he didn't have that look, he decided to go for something else.
The Dragons run a fake, snapping. Coleman has running room around the right side. First down, 45 to the boundary to the 40, inside to the 30, and bumped out of bounds by Eric Sutton. The Dragons with a fake punt get 21 yards and they move the chains.
That was a nice play. They snap it to the up back who goes left. He then flips it to Coleman, reversing right. So you take advantage of Cedar Hill's intention to pursue, and that leaves Coleman with the running lane. Humphrey was the up back on that play, and he flips it to Coleman. So you know they're keying on Lil Jordan as the up back. Coleman takes off to the right for the first down.
Timeout on the field, 6:07 to go first half. Dragons on top, 14-7. First down and Dragons from the 26-yard line. Going to throw the pass toward the end zone. It's caught. Touchdown. Lil Jordan Humphrey on a 26-yard strike from Mason Holmes, and the Dragons lead it 20-7.
That one there wide open. Lil Jordan on what looked like kind of a wheel route maybe. Had 3-4 steps on Dimitri Moore, the linebacker, in coverage. And with the height advantage alone, I mean, that was just an easy pitch and catch. Touchdown Dragons.
So Carroll's offense has scored every time it's touched the football this evening. Of course, aided in part by the, hang on one second, we've got a penalty call coming up.
Substitution infraction on the offense. 5-yard penalty, repeat the try.
Okay, that's what it
Well,
was.
repeat the try. I don't think they actually repeated the try yet.
Well, they're about to. Hey, get off my boy Bill. He's a good dude.
Hey, words mean things. I'm sorry.
That's right. Well, it's not a. They didn't get the flag.
We're going
It's
to
still
pause
on
and
the
get the
field.
flag. There we go.
Got to get that. So it's not quite the NFL point after, but it's on the 15.
But it's
now.
a little more than the standard gimme.
Yeah. So 25 yards on this PAT. It's brought to you by County Commissioner Gary Fickus and Cole Ramage out of the hold of Montana Murphy. He gets the ball on the tee, and the kick is on the way, and it is good. Take time out. 6 minutes to go. Second quarter. New score, the Dragons 21 and the Longhorns 7. Carroll football plays 79 yards, 3 minutes, 9 seconds on the Ozarka brand water scoring drive as the Dragons' little pooch kick gets inside the Cedar Hill 40. down to the 39. The Sewell Cadillac of Grapevine, a little pooch, went down to the 39, and the Dragons almost got on top of it. But Cedar Hill's Miracle Broussard jumps on top of it, and the Longhorns will have the football at their own 39.
So
First down and 10, Cedar Hill going left to right here in quarter number 2. Dragons on top now 21-7 as they'll spread the field with 2 receivers to either side, and then timeout called by the Dragons. Well, out of the timeout, first down and 10 for Cedar Hill from its 39-yard line as they start the man in motion. Jalen Jackson and pitched a little jet sweep going from right to left, and from the 39 to the boundary up around the 44, 45, all the way to the 46. So give him 7 yards on the play as Jacob Doddridge, a sophomore, on the tackle for Carroll.
One of the issues Cedar Hill's having is getting into the rhythm. The 10 plays they'd run prior to that snap, only 2 of them were passes, but they'd run the ball 8 times with 5 different guys, 9 times with 5 different guys, but nobody has more than 2 carries for Cedar Hill.
Second down and 3 from the 46. Avery Davis gives it to Foreman. Marquise Foreman sheds a tackle as he goes right up the middle, and he gets across the 46, 47, all the way near the first down at the 49. Doddridge and Miller, a couple of the guys up front for the Dragons on the tackle. It looks like it's going to be very close for the first down as Bill Theodore giving it the eyeball. Cedar Hill right up on the line of scrimmage going to say, hey, back off, fellas. We're going to have to measure this one.
Well, and that was a play the Dragons are going to regret in film study. There were 3 black jerseys right there on Foreman at about the 46-yard line, had him dead to rights. He spun out of the hit, got close to the marker, and I think they're going to find he's got it.
Well, let's see. They're going to bring the sticks on, I think. Still haven't moved from the sideline yet. And now here they come. So we'll have our measurement forthcoming. Now, measurements against Cedar Hill haven't gone well against Carroll. Beg your pardon, trying to be wise there, and you just kind of laid out on me. Thanks,
I was
partner.
looking to see about the measurement, and sure enough, by about the nose of the football.
There was a controversial call late. Well, if you're a Dragon fan, it was controversial late in that 62-42 win last year. It sounded like Cedar Hill just blew Carroll out, but it was a nip and tuck game until about 5 minutes left, and there was a measurement that was deemed a first down. The Dragon defense did not agree, and that was the one that kind of broke the back. So next play, that was that. But anyway, that was a first down. First and 10 for the 49, and Davis is a man wide open as he throws deep. It's caught at the 10, and Charleston Rambo will stroll into the end zone for the touchdown. 51 yards on the pass from Avery Davis to Charleston Rambo, who has torched the Carroll secondary twice in this game. And now it's 21-13, Dragons on top.
Play action, nice delivered ball by Avery Davis. Rambo just had several steps on his man, and that was too easy for this Longhorn offense.
Cedar Hill has 2 completions in the football game, and 2 completions to Rambo for the 93 yards of the score as the PAT good for Montel Murphy, and we'll take a break. Scoring drive that goes 3 plays, 61 yards, taking just 56 seconds as Avery Davis' second touchdown pass of the 90s, 24 in the year to Charleston Rambo, who hauls it in. It's now 21-14 as the Sewell Cadillac and Grapevine kickoff taken to the 14-yard line by Jack Johansson. He brings it up the hash marks on the right side as he gets to the 20 to the 25-yard line, gain of about 11 on the play on the return, and the Dragons will have it at that 25. First down and 10 Dragons for the 25-yard line as they hustle right out there. They go with the 2 receivers to either side, snap it to Murphy. He's going to air it out. Long pass downfield, caught over the shoulder. Little Jordan Humphrey at the 40, gets to the Cedar Hill 30 to the 20, and he's tripped from behind at the 9-yard line. Jamil Moore just saved a touchdown on a 66-yard pass and run from Mason Holmes to Lil Jordan Humphrey, who again just hauled it in over the shoulder as he had beaten the coverage on the near side.
The ball was delivered perfectly. Lil Jordan sticks out the hand. It hits him in stride. Just a tremendous athletic play. 5 catches for 114 yards and a touchdown tonight for Lil Jordan.
Well, the Dragons have no idea what the play call is as they've got Jordan in the Wildcat. Might be Coleman who's going to take the snap. It is Coleman. Little decoy there, and Coleman gets inside the 10, gets down to the 5, and is finally brought down just 2 yards short of the goal line. Well, it looked like all kinds of mass confusion, and suddenly the snap went to Shamar Coleman, and he kept going straight ahead. what power as he gets to the 2.
He's like the salmon back. That's twice tonight. I've seen him go into the and come out on the other side, goal to go.
They stay in the Wildcat. Snap it again to Coleman. He has a seam. He's into the end zone. Touchdown, Carroll Dragons. Shamar Coleman out of the Wildcat scores the Dragons' 4th touchdown of the game. 3:47 to go until halftime, and it's now 27-14.
At this point, we are looking at a heavyweight battle. These two teams are just trading body shots.
Well, it's the first time of the game the Dragons have really put together a quick strike drive to get points on the board as County Commissioner Gary Fickus brings you the PAT from Cole Ravage, and it's up and good. We'll take a break, 3:47 to go until halftime, although there's a very late flag to play, so let's hang on. Let's make sure the point is good before we send to break. And they are and they're conferring, and the guys go to the sideline, so the teams at least think that the point is going to stand, as Bill Theodore is about to explain it to us.
After the play, dead ball personal foul on the defense, number 99. Penalty reinforced on the kickoff.
Ouch. If memory serves, Kelly, we've already seen a 15-yard penalty against Joseph Lamont. That was the second. So that's a break for the Dragons. They're going to kick off after the 15-yard penalty from the Cedar Hill 45-yard line as the approach by Jake Oldroyd, and he is going to bang it to the back of the end zone, put it through the uprights and into the bend, and Cedar Hill will have it. 3:47 to go until halftime, trailing the Dragons 28-14. Carroll. Well, a 20-yard net kickoff, if you think about it, kicking from the 45 and putting it through the back of the end zone. You go for the onside there, a pooch kick, I don't know. But anyway, the Dragons will hand it off, the Longhorns hand it off to Kagan Williams, and he sweeps around the left end and has a hefty gain across the 35, gets out near the 40, all the way out to the 42. That's a gain of 17 yards on a straight handoff to Kagan Williams. There was a late flag at the end of the play as the tackle was made by the Dragons' Ivy Seacat, and the officials still conferring about this just out around the 40-yard line.
Here comes our indication.
Block in the back on the offense, number 11. 10 yards from the end of the run, remains first down.
Well, it would have been a 17-yard gain out to the 41. Instead, they are going to march it back 10 yards, and that'll put it down at the 32. So because that's at the end of the play, the block in the back, Kelly, was actually at the end of the run or somewhere downfield, more than 17 yards to the line of scrimmage. Interesting call.
It is.
It'll be first down and about 3.5 yards as Avery Davis takes the snap, throws it to Jalen Jackson out in the right flat, and the Dragons crawl all over him. It's a gain of 2 yards on the play. Ivy Seacat and Barrett Buck were the guys there for Carroll. Pickup of a couple. It'll bring up second down and 1.
Nice job defending the play in space. Jalen Jackson has some serious wiggle. Very elusive player. He can usually make one guy miss and take it to the house. Good job stopping that. Carroll gets a second guy there for help, and it's a short second and short.
Inverted diamond in the backfield as it's second and 1, and they're going to hand it off to Foreman, and he comes down the right sideline, keeps on his feet as he crosses the 50, cuts back at the 40, running in Dragon territory. Zigzagging his way inside the 20. He's to the 10. He's to the 5. Touchdown. Oh, my. Marquise Foreman, the junior, goes 66 yards for his 9th touchdown of the year. And just like that, Cedar Hill with 6 on the board. It's now 28-20. Carroll on top.
Stretch play out to the perimeter on the right. He looked like he lost his balance near the sideline, but he kept his knees from going. Got a hand on the ground, just kept running, and then it was a matter of foot racing those Dragon defenders to the end zone.
He got a big block from Josh Stewart on Obi Ebo. That's why he was zigging and zagging. He's trying to figure out which way he could go to get into the end zone. Got the block from Stewart as the point after by Maverick Montiel is good. And with 2:42 to go until halftime, the Dragons on top 28-21. Here's the kickoff, fielded by Shamar Coleman. Back up the middle of the field at a big seam as he crossed the 20 and is chopped down at the 30-yard line, as it was Josh Neiman who got him down low, and the Dragons will take over with 2:35 to go here in the first half, leading 28-21. As the scoring drive brought to you by Ozarka brand, 100% natural spring water. Three plays. What is this, a replay? 3 plays, 75 yards, 105. Kelly, that's the same drive that the Dragons had just a moment ago. 3 plays, 75, 105. I thought Brian Sperry was taking a series off or something, just leaving the drive on the board.
Nope, these are two very competitive teams trying to match each other drive for drive, literally.
Here's the snap. Here's Humphrey bouncing out left side from the 30. Comes left to the 40, 45, still churning to the 50 and into Cedar Hill territory. Dragon fans wanted a flag at the end of the play all the way down to the 43. That is a 27-yard burst. Look at offensive line coach Brad Skinner. He was angry, the big bear down on the sidelines, yapping at one of the refs saying, come on, man. Little Jordan Humphrey is down on the Dragon sidelines. Travis Smith with the Dust Famous Wings sideline update. Have a good look at that.
Well, everybody was, you heard the crowds getting all upset about this tackle out of bounds. Sure enough, it was right in the middle of the players on the bench here for South Lake Carroll. Now, little Jordan Humphrey's getting up very slowly. They're checking the midsection area, so hopefully he just got the wind knocked out of him.
Well, they go with Coleman in the backfield now. They put Tommy Kane in at a receiver, slot to the near side. 2 receivers left and right on 1st and 10 from the Cedar Hill 43. Holmes throws out right side, complete. Johansson shakes a tackle at the 35, goes to the right boundary to the 30, and he's got a first down and a gain of 13 yards. Eric Sutton bumped him out. In the last 12 plays of this game, there have been 4 touchdowns scored, 2 by each team, 277 yards of offense. Little Jordan Humphrey comes back into the Dragon offense after setting out that one play. He lines up to the left of the quarterback, Mason Holmes, as they'll snap. 2:15 to go here in the first half. First down and 10 at the Cedar Hill 30-yard line. 15 first downs for Carroll in this game already. Cedar Hill showing blitz with 5 across the front. Snap to Holmes, going to go one-on-one, looking for Farrar. The leap and the catch is made. Touchdown, Zach Farrar. He's got it. 30 yards on the strike from Mason Holmes. They were running that play yesterday, this Kelly, and it was just like they drew it up. And Carroll, just like that, is on top, 34-21.
Well, go turn down the sideline, ball delivered perfect. Sutton all over. That was just a tremendous catch. Good concentration by Farrar.
Wow, when they ran yesterday, I was standing in that corner and I was, wow, that was either way. And they just did the same thing, except this time, 13,000 people. Cadillac and Great brings you the career tip. Is good. Timeout here to go until halftime. Score of 5 and Cedar Hill 21. 2:10 to go. Carroll Dragons, after a 3-play, 70-yard drive, takes 25 seconds against this vaunted Cedar Hill defense, and the 30-yard strike from Mason Holmes to Zach Farrar. And now it is a 35-21 Carroll lead as the Sewell Cadillac and Grapevine kickoff to the 1, and Malik Orr brings it up right numbers, gets across the 20 to the 25 and is tackled right around that point. In fact, they give him all the way to the 30, and no, now they're pulling it back. It is the 25. There you go. So after all that, he just could have taken it in the end zone. But that's where Cedar Hill will have it. No, not nearly at all. Kate's Hamburgers brings us our out-of-town playoff scoreboard tonight. In Class 6A Division II, Mansfield on top of Heritage, 14-13 at Vernon Newsom Stadium down in Mansfield. That one may be a little closer than some predicted. So how about Heritage hanging in with Mansfield early on. Marcus on top of Fossil Ridge, 14-7 up in Flower Mound. It's Abilene 14-12 over Lamar. That one at Cravensfield in Arlington. And Geyer over Hebron, 6-0. That one up in Denton at Apogee Stadium. That one late second quarter. Right here, 35-21 Dragons as they run out of the Wildcat. No, it's Dave. Beg your pardon. He's the one who takes the snap, and the quarterback will get from the 25, get out to the 29, a gain of about 4 yards on the play before Grant McFarland makes the stop. One 6A Division I score of local interest to pass along there in the second quarter in DeSoto. And the Eagles on top of Coppell 14-10. The winner of that game will be playing Allen, I'm fairly sure. Allen playing Byron Nelson. In fact, they're up 40-0 in the second quarter. Here's the snap. Avery Davis rolling on 2nd down and 4. Throws upfield incomplete as he's looking up around the 40-yard line for Cameron Buckley. His wide receiver, Jacob Murphy, is in there on the coverage. It'll bring up 3rd down and 6 now, and the Dragon fans cover their feet on the near side.
Cedar Hill now showing that jet sweep. It's a big part of their offense. They don't really have a guy that can run it without Jalen Jackson. They've shown that action twice. He carries on the first play. They fake jet sweep and then throw downfield on 2nd down. So Dragon defense has got one more thing they got to think about out of that offense.
This is a big stop right here for Carroll if it can get it. 3rd down and 6 from the Cedar Hill 29-yard line. They empty the backfield. Receivers to the left, 2 to the right. Here comes the Dragons on a blitz, but the play was blown dead before it started. And let's see what the call was as Bill Theodore
Delay of game on the offense, number 12.
that right.
So there you go. 3rd and 6 now, 3rd and 11.
Beg your pardon, we're just trampling over Bill. I'm sorry, Bill.
I thought he'd said he's bid. I apologize, Bill.
So back to the 24 it goes. 3rd down and 11. We've got 1:25 to go until halftime. It's been an electrifying first half. The Dragons on top, 35-21. Cedar Hill 0 for 2. That's all. With 2 3rd down tries in the game for the Longhorns. As this time they'll keep Marquise Foreman in the backfield, line him up behind Davis, who takes the pistol snap, has the football, can't find a receiver. Plenty of time. Now going to air it out deep into double coverage, and he overthrows his intended receiver, Jalen Jackson, down around the Carroll 25-yard line, and Cedar Hill will have to punt the football with 1:16 remaining in the first half as Barnes and Sales were downfield in that coverage.
So a second 3 and out by the Dragon defense. That was a nice job of coverage that gives Davis a little duress. He's got to find somebody, and when the pressure comes, he tries to turn it upfield. He throws in a hurry. Ball not delivered well and into double coverage anyway. So that was well defended by the Dragons.
Honorable mention All-State punter Josh Stewart standing back at his 10-yard line. The line of scrimmage is the 24. That breaks a string of 7 straight touchdown drives between the two teams. How about that? As that punt kind of hit off the side of his foot, but it does get down into Carroll territories. It hits inside the 45, rolls to the 40, and goes 41 yards down to the Dragon 35-yard line. So, Kelly, Carroll has 2 timeouts and 64 seconds with which to work. Dare they go for points here?
I wouldn't be surprised to see them do other than take a knee. I think, you got Cedar Hill gets the ball to start the second half. If you could make that a 42-21 margin, that's a whole lot nicer for that staff to think about in the locker room.
Well, of course, you could think field goal, too. You don't have to punch it all the way into the end zone, but, well, it looks like they're just going to play safe here as they go into that same type of inverted diamond backfield. 2 running backs either side of the quarterback, Mason Holmes, and they'll snap it to him. Fakes the handoff, and now here comes the pressure, and he's hit and he's sacked back at the 28-yard line. Dimitri Moore came blitzing in and drops him for a loss of 7. So the Dragons giving up yardage there. There's a little trickery, set up in a running formation, wind up with a play fake, and Murphy, beg your pardon, did it again. Holmes, to his credit, has kind of said, okay, I'm going to tuck this one away. Clock running down to 35 seconds to go until halftime. Cedar Hill with 1 timeout. They're not going to use it here. The Dragons could take it down to 19 before they need to snap it. They're going to let it roll here all the way down inside 25 and 24. Snap to the quarterback, Holmes, and he will hand it off to Shamar Coleman. He runs a slant at right tackle for a gain of about 3 on the final play of the first half. Well, a lot of build up for this one and a big crowd here at Dragon Stadium in Southwood to usher in the 2015 playoffs. The bi-district round is through 2 quarters, and the score is Carroll 35, Cedar Hill 21. We've got a Dragons lead 35-21. It's welcome you back here at the end of halftime. About to start the 3rd quarter. Cedar Hill will get the football first. Quickly give you the First half statistics, the Dragons 339 yards of total offense, 155 on the ground, 184 through the air. Cedar Hill 217 yards, most of those coming strike plays, 122 on the ground, 95 yards passing. 15 first downs for the Dragons, only 6 for Cedar Hill. Look at the time of possession. The Dragons 16:48, Cedar Hill 7:12. That's all. The Dragons are 5 of 8 on third down. Cedar Hill is 0 for 3. Mason Holmes 13 of 14, 184 yards and 2 touchdowns. Avery Davis 3 of 6 for Cedar Hill, 95 yards and 2 scores. Lil Jordan Humphrey with 113 yards receiving in the game as the Sewell Cadillac of Grapevine kickoff field deep, brought out to the 10 to the 15. The ball popped free at the 17-yard line, but I think Cedar Hill got back on top of it. Let's unsort. Yep, that's right. Cedar Hill will have it, and the Longhorns will have it after Malik Orr coughed it up, and it was recovered by DeAndre Carter, who gives the Cedar Hill fans a big sigh of relief across the way. So the Longhorn offense will come out. The Dragons on top, 35-21. Again, Avery Davis, the quarterback. They've run a lot out of the 3-back set, but they're actually going to empty the backfield here, put a tight end to the right side. 2 receivers left and right, Stewart, Jackson, Rambo, and Buckley in the double slots as the quarterback Davis takes the snap, throws over the middle, caught. That is Jalen Jackson across the 25, gets out to the 30-yard line, and he gets 12 yards. And that'll move the chains as Ivy Seacat on the tackle for the Dragons. Our Kincaid's Hamburgers, out-of-town school boards, 6A Division II. Games in progress, third quarter in Arlington. It is Lamar on top of Abilene, 25-23. Halftime in Flower Mound, Marcus over Fossil Ridge, 22-7. The snap to Avery Davis, and he fakes the handoff in a zone read deep. He comes near side at the 35, left to the 40, and he's knocked down at that point, a gain of about 10 yards on the play. That's a first down. Robert Barnes on the tackle. Meanwhile, third quarter, down in Mansfield, the Tigers now on top of Heritage, 35-14. Up in Denton there at half, Hebron leading Geyer 13-6. Winner of this game plays the winner of that. It'll be next Friday night. Talk more about that a little bit later. First down and 10 from the 40-yard line. Here's the snap to Avery Davis. Again, he reads as he hands it to Jackson as he goes to the right across the 45-yard line to the 46. A gain of about 6 on the play before Seacat and Buck making the stop. 6A Division I scores. Allen over Byron Nelson at the half, 40-0. That one not a surprise. DeSoto on top of Capella, 21-10 in DeSoto. Right here, it is 35-21 Dragons. One more score after this next snap. Second down and about 3.5 yards. It is Avery Davis, fakes the handoff, keeps, goes around the right side, gets the 50, down to the 45-yard line. Gain of 8 yards on the play before Ryan Miller makes the stop. 4 snaps, 3 first downs for Cedar Hill here early in quarter number 3. That one other score I wanted to give you, an upset of brewing as undefeated Trinity is now trailing South Grand Prairie 21-14 early in the third quarter at Pennington Field in Bedford. Remember, Trinity all but out against an earlier game against South Grand Prairie, came storming back in the fourth quarter and took one away, but right now the Warriors leading by 7. That's midway in the third. Here's the snap to Davis on 1st and 10 of the 45, rolls to his left, throws to the sidelines. It's caught on the boundary at the Dragon 40-yard line. It is Cameron Buckley who hauls it in, his 29th catch of the year. It goes for 6 yards down to the 40-yard line. Give him the 39 as Barrett Buck on the tackle.
Nice zip on the ball by Davis, is rolling across, throwing across his body as he rolls to the left. Buckley on a little stopper out there by the sideline. Nice positive play on first down.
Jackson, Williams, and Foreman all in the backfield. They line up the diamond. Either side of the quarterback, Avery Davis, who takes the snap, and he hands it to the deep man. And here comes Foreman, busts the line of scrimmage inside the 40 to the 35, and he barrels down to the 31 before he's knocked down. A gain of 8. A very impressive drive early here in quarter number 3 for Cedar Hill. Jacob Murphy made that tackle after the 10th first down of the game for the Cedar Hill Longhorns. 4 of those coming on this drive. They're down to the Dragon 31. Carroll leading 35-21, 9:45 clock running, quarter number 3. Kagan Williams lines up in the backfield. It's a pistol set as Avery Davis, the junior quarterback in front of him, takes the snap, fakes the handoff, swings it out in the near flat. Cameron Buckley has it left sidelines inside the 25. He'll go down to the 23. A gain of about 8 yards on the play. Obi Ebo on the stop for the Dragons. But again, a very nifty march, Cal.
Yeah. 2nd and 2, this is where this offense is particularly dangerous. They're going to line it up with a couple of guys back there with Davis, but you could see them air it out knowing they can convert on 3rd and 2. They're good for 4, 5, 6 a pop on every play of this drive.
2nd down 2 from the Dragon 23-yard line. Short side of the left, wide side to the right. Dragons 5 across the front. Snap it to Davis. Handoff. Williams skittering, looking for room. Cuts it back inside the 20. Gets to the 15, and he's down to about the 13-yard line before he's brought down. Kagan Williams, the transfer from Stephenville, gets 10 yards before Ivy Seacat and Luke Jeter tackle.
He hasn't had a lot of success running the ball tonight. They have just bottled him up pretty nicely, but you see what a good, easy stride he's got when he finds a little green space. 4 carries for 27 yards, and then another one called back, but that was a nice-looking run.
Williams and Foreman in the backfield. They line up a slot left, one receiver to the right, to the middle of the field from the 13-yard line. 1st and 10, opening drive, quarter number 3. Fake the handoff. Davis keeps it straight ahead, gets inside the 10, all the way down to the 7-yard line. 6 more yards tacked on. Davis stopped by Ryan Thompson. Grant McFarland and Miller all in on the stop. Cedar Hill right back on the line of scrimmage. Almost 4 minutes gone in the 3rd quarter. And Cedar Hill has moved it all the way down the field after the opening kickoff. Here in quarter number 3. Avery Davis looks to the sideline for the play call.
Not going tempo, but they're being pretty deliberate about this. They're getting right back to the line. They have run a lot of plays here in the first 4 minutes of the quarter.
Marquise Foreman, the running back, lines up to the left of Davis. Dragons with 5 up front. Here they come. Davis keeps the football, and he is hit and dropped right at the line of scrimmage. The Dragons really sniffed that play out. They saw it coming as everybody came blitzing in. Doddridge, Jeter, and helped some of the linebackers up to bottle up Davis. And it's 3rd down. Dragons need to stop here.
A negative play would be even better. Give them an incentive to kick the field goal instead of going for it on 4th down. They're 0 of 3 on 3rd down, but they're 3 0-yard plays.
3rd down and 4. Cedar Hill playing off the right side hash from the Carroll 7-yard line. Here's the snap, play fake. Davis going to keep, runs right at the 5 into the end zone. Touchdown, Cedar Hill. Wow, power running play, and junior Avery Davis with the rush into the end zone. Well, we talked about quick strike touchdowns early in the football game for Cedar Hill. That one was a smash mouth, in-your-face drive, and the Horns are now within 8. It's 35-27.
That's the kind of thing you need to get your offense in rhythm. As many points as they put up, they had a hard time establishing rhythm in the first half. They get it right off the bat here.
High snap on the point after, the ball rolling back to the 25, and it is pounced on there by the kicker, Maverick Montiel. That could be big. A missed PAT, and the Dragons' lead stays at 8. 11 plays, 91 yards. After only 19 snaps in the first half, they go 11 plays, 81 yards, take 4 minutes and 42 seconds. And Davis with the 7-yard touchdown run. It's 35-27, Carroll on top. As the kickoff fielded by Shamar Coleman at his own 8, comes back middle of the field across the 20, 25 to the 30, and he will be knocked down at the 31, a 23-yard return, and that is where the Dragons will take over 1st and 10.
And we'll see what the Dragons do by way of halftime adjustments to Cedar Hill's defense. They definitely want to answer that score and keep the 2-possession lead.
2 receivers to either side. As Shamar Coleman in the backfield alongside quarterback Mason Holmes, who takes the snap, hands him the football, and he'll get from the 31 out to the 34-yard line. More on the tackle for the Cedar Hill Longhorns. Reintroduced to this offensive line for the Dragons: Lucas Tribble, Anton Ezzard, Noah Hubble, Chase Sanford, and Carson Green, tackle to tackle. The receiving core for the Dragons. Of course, Zach Farrar lines up to the right side. It won't be a pass play here as they'll hand it off. This is nice across the left tackle, across the 35 to the 40, and there's a 1st down beyond the 45 out to the 46. It's a gain of 12 yards for Lil Jordan Humphrey.
That may have been a check. They saw Dimitri Moore lined up to the left of the formation, looking for all the world like he was going to blitz. They just check into a running play to the right side, or the left side rather, away from Moore's pressure, nice quick hitter for the first down.
There's an injured Cedar Hill Longhorn down on the field, and they're going to take a look at him. It's the training staff. Going to visit with 6:30 to go here in the third quarter. Well, it looks like
it was Robert Thomas coming off the sidelines. Yeah. He's had the shoulder injury, and he was writhing on the ground, Chuck. So we'll want to get a report and see what the status is on him. But that brings Devin Lamp into the game at the end.
First down and 10 for the 46-yard line. Here's the snap to Holmes, and he's going to hand it off. And quickly, little Jordan Humphrey gets hit behind the line of scrimmage. Might have made it back to the 46. He lost about a quarter of a yard as Dimitri Moore on the tackle for Cedar Hill.
Also in there from the outside linebacker position, but they were quick to snuff that play out.
Farrar, Coleman, and Johansson, beg your pardon, to the near side. And it is Cam Duhan who is lined up to the left. That's the short side of the field. As little Jordan Humphrey lines up alongside quarterback Mason Holmes, who takes the snap on 2nd and 10. Holmes throws right side. It's caught at the 50. And the ball right into the hand of one of the Horns. And that is Dimitri Moore right at the 25. And he's out there. A 24-yard return as Bobby McGarry was the one that knocked it out of the hands. Mark Coleman, the ball popped, and Moore gathered it up and took it all the way. 25, big play in this game.
That's the kind of you need the breaks and create them. Cedar Hill hadn't had much helping Carroll, but the leads to the turnover. Now Cedar Hill short field to make this possibly tie it up.
Well, that is Cedar Hill's best field position by 30 yards as they'll go from the 5-yard line. 5:35 to go third quarter. Dragons up by 8, but now Cedar Hill with the ball 5 yards away from the red zone. From the 25, snap it to Avery Davis. Will hand it off. Foreman sweeps around the right side, gets inside the 25, down to the 20. Gain of 5 on the play before Robert Barnes on the tackle. Now is where the Carroll defense is going to be called upon, Kelly, because they need a big stop here.
And this Cedar Hill offense has got a full head of steam and momentum. Right there again, they rattle off 5 yards on first down. So somebody on this Dragon defense is going to have to step up and make a big play.
Ball marked just inside the 20 as they play off the right side hash. Avery Davis with 2 backs lining up either side. Jackson and Williams in the backfield. 2 receivers left, 1 short side right. Dragons 4 across the front. Snap. Davis puts it in the belly of Williams. He slithers through a hole inside the 15-yard line. He goes all the way down to the 14. That's good for a first down. Ivy Seacount on the tackle. But again, Cedar Hill on the move.
And Williams showing that burst that leads Joey McGuire to compare him to Barry Sanders. He's just really quick through a hole, thick but little. He's hard to hit. You give him a sliver, and he's got 5 or 6 before you know what's hit you.
First down and 10, Cedar Hill at the Dragon. 14-yard line. Again, Carroll with a turnover here, the first of the game. Midway in the third quarter, the Longhorns moving in to try to get close and perhaps tie it up. Here's Davis. Get up over on the right side. It's caught inside the 10. Breaking a tackle at the 5 and in for the touchdown goes Josh Stewart. 14 yards. Stewart, very determined, shook off 1 tackler and walked down the boundary into the end zone. And Cedar Hill is within 2 points. It's now 35-33.
So do you chase him and go for 2 here, or do you bring on the kicker? It looks like they've got the offense staying on the field.
Yeah, I would guess a 2-point try. Now remember, the bad snap a moment ago on the point after left them in an 8-point deficit. Right now it's a 2-point game. The Dragons on top, 35-33, 4:16 to go in the third quarter. And Cedar Hill is going to have to call timeout. 35-33, Dragons on top, 4:16 to go third quarter. Cedar Hill about to try a 2-point conversion. They ran out of time on the play clock, or were about to. Had to put timeout. Dragons up by 2. Cedar Hill set to go for 2. They've got Kagan Williams lined up in the backfield alongside the quarterback Davis. 2 receivers short side left, 1 wide to the right. Dragons have 10 up on the line defensively. Put a man in motion. Here's the snap. Davis rolls to his right, throws back to his left as a man wide open. It's caught. 2-point conversion is good. There's also a marker down on the field, so we'll check that out as the catch was made by Rylan Ritchie. Yep, Kylan Ritchie, the guy who's going to be a 4-year starter. on the Cedar Hill baseball team, a great third baseman and a pitcher.
Pass interference on the offense. Number 12. 15-yard penalty. Replay the try.
Well, you know what that was? I think it was that rub play. Let's check down to the field. Travis Smith with a Duff's Famous Wings sideline update.
Yeah, going to the penalty, it was a pick play to send the receiver open in the back of the end zone. But the reason why they had to call the timeout, Chuck, they were missing Jalen Jackson on the field for the two-point conversion. The coaching staff, Joey McGuire, not happy at all that he had to waste his time out there just to get the right personnel on the field.
And now he's in a situation where he's backed up to his 18-yard line for a 35-yard extra point, and they're not bringing on the kicker. They're gonna score the of a down here to tie the game.
Well, Cedar Hill going to go for it, 18 yards away. 4:16 to go third quarter. They just converted, but there was an offensive pass interference call. And it's one of those rub routes in the end zone. The official saw it. Here's the snap to Davis. Pressure. He rolls out to his right, looking for a man downfield, throws to the pylon on the right side. It's incomplete, intended for Cameron Buckley, and Obi Ebo was in the coverage. So the Dragons hang on to the lead, but it's as close as it's been in a long time. 4:16 to go third quarter. Carroll 35, Cedar Hill 35. On the Sewell Cadillac break grind kickoff, it is a little pooch kick that will go into the Dragon into the field down to the 35, and it's taken with an over-the-shoulder catch by Gavin Harrison, and he got popped from behind by one of the Cedar Hill Longhorns. So I think that was a fair catch, and I'm kind of surprised that got overlooked. No problem on that, though. It would have been kind of ticky-tack. We've got an injury update from the sideline brought to you by Duff's Wings. Here's Trav.
Yeah, Robert Thomas, the defensive lineman for Cedar Hill, has re-injured his shoulder. They've taken his jersey and shoulder pads off. It doesn't look like he's going to make it back into this game.
Ouch. That is not good news for Cedar Hill as the Dragons on 1st and 10 from their own 38-yard line. Handed off. Humphrey breaks into the open. Down the left sideline, 50. He's to the 40, to the Cedar Hill 35, but there's a marker down right there, and he's bumped out of bounds down around the 25-yard line by Dimitri Moore. But now this flag that's back around the 35-yard line, it would be a 38-yard run by Humphrey, who once he broke the line of scrimmage had plenty to go, breaking 3 tackles along the way, according to our spotter, Brandon Carpenter.
Holding on the offense, number 2. 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. First down.
So it's going to be a first down for the Dragons, Kelly, but the penalty call was 28 yards downfield, and it'll mark it back to the Cedar Hill 44-yard line, and that's where the Dragons will have it.
Well, at least this crew is not giving up on plays.
Humphrey, 14 carries, 104 yards. They do the inside shovel pass. Shamar Coleman looking for running room. Comes around the right end at the 45, gets down to the 40, and down at the 37. It's a gain of 7 yards on the play. Dylan Baxter on the tackle for Cedar Hill.
And Carroll answering, first to the left with Humphrey, and then on the right with Coleman and the shovel pass. Keep that Cedar Hill defense defending the width of the field.
2nd down, 3 for the Dragons. One receiver to the right is Farrar. That's the short side. Trip receivers line up out to the left. As Coleman, Johansson, and Duhan all lined up in the 3 receiver set. Holmes in the backfield, takes the snap, has time, looks over the middle, passes, caught. Farrar down around the 21-yard line, hit hard. There is a marker down, 16 yards on the completion if it counts. Tackle made by Sutton with help from Rader. But now, Kelly, let's take a look at the flag.
I'm looking at the replay. I can't see what it is, but they're focused on Farrar making the catch in the replay.
Well, and rightfully so, because
Yes.
he was open.
Pass interference. Offense, number 10. 15-yard penalty from the previous spot. Remains 2nd down.
Well, a little tit for tat there. He got the very costly pass interference on the 2-point conversion by Cedar Hill a moment ago, and now the crew calls offensive pass interference. And you know, you see that a lot more in pro and college, those rub routes where they get rid of the defender, but obviously somebody watching for this on this crew, and they've caught each side red-handed.
Well, but that went to the other side. That was nowhere near the play. Farrar was running a totally different route, a box route in, That had no impact on the play,
Yep.
so that's a call you debate if you want to.
That's a good point. Second down, and they're going to need about 18 as they hand it off. Lil Jordan Humphrey, line of scrimmage, the Dragon 48, and he'll go at left tackle to the Cedar Hill 48, give him 4 yards. Raider and Lamont on the tackle for the Longhorns. 3 minutes, 23 seconds, quarter clock running. Carroll up 35-33. This is the longest third down that either team has faced this evening. The Dragons have been good on third down, but they need 14 yards here. They're 5 of 8 on third down tries, but only 1 of the last 4, as they will put 3 receivers to the left. Humphrey in the backfield alongside Mason Holmes. Quarterback takes the snap, has time in the pocket, plenty of time, all kinds of time, dumps it off, marker down. The ball is caught at the 50, and Zach Farrar gets buried in a hurry. Dimitri Moore on the tackle, and there's also an injured Dragon down. The penalty, I am 92% sure, Kelly, is going to be a hold against the Dragons, because Holmes had all day to throw the football.
And that's Farrar down over there on the far sideline. Not what you want to see.
Nope, that's not the guy that you want shaken up at all.
Want anybody hurt, but this is really
Holding on the offense, number 75. That penalty is declined. It's 4th down.
Well, here's the good news. Farrar is up. And
walking briskly.
Yeah,
So,
walking briskly now. Well, he
no
started to
jogging
trot. Yeah, started to trot over this way. And looks like he's going to be okay. He's going to come out for 1 play. And for the Dragons, this is going to be a punt, as it's 4th and 14 at the Cedar Hill 49.
But now it is imperative that this Dragon defense wake up and get a stop.
Well, Jake Oldroyd, who has been spectacular in pinning the opponent down inside the 20-yard line all year long. He was great last year, too, for that matter. 13 inside the 20 last year, 11 inside the 20 this year. And he's going to try to pin him deep here as the line of scrimmage across the midfield stripe. He hits it from the Carroll 40 and shoots it down to the 15, taken with a fair catch. There you go, another inside the 20 as it's caught there by Jalen Sims. 35 yards on the punt, and Hill will have it. First down and 10 yards to go in Southlake. First down and 10 from the 14. Handoff, big running room going right. Kagan Williams, as he gets run toward the boundary as he crosses the 15-yard line, gets out close to the 20. There's
a series of flags.
Yeah, I was going to say there's certainly enough to choose from, as Murphy was in on that tackle for the Dragons. Well, let's see what Bill Theodore has.
Illegal formation on the offense. 5 men in the backfield. It's a 5-yard penalty. Remains first down.
You got to be able to put all 11 in the backfield if you want to.
I'm that, but you know I've always loved the ground game. But they're going to have a problem with 5, so Cedar Hill marches backwards 5.
It was already the worst starting field position for either team tonight, so now it gets 5 yards worse. First and 15, back to the 9-yard line. Avery Davis, the quarterback, out of the pistol, looks at the 3-man front as he takes the snap, has time to throw, comes right side. The pass is caught out beyond the 20, and stepping out of bounds at the 22 is Cameron Buckley. A gain of 13 yards on the play. Obi Ebo was there on the coverage for Carroll.
And Buckley, having no catches in the first half, has been sort of a factor here in the third quarter. 3 catches for 27 yards all in this third quarter, and that was a big one. Got Cedar Hill in an imminently convertible 3.
Early fourth quarter in DeSoto. Capel now on top of DeSoto, 31-28. Keep you up to date on that one. Here's the snap to Davis. Quarterback keep on 2nd and 3, and he kind of picked his way to the left side and got knocked down for maybe a half-yard gain by Grant McFarland. That was kind of a soft run to the left, and the Dragon defense said, hey, I'll get you right there.
Barnes back there in the neighborhood as well, kind of forced him inside. It looks like he ran up the back of a blocker. So Cedar Hill 1 of 4 on third down. 3 plays of no yardage, and then the touchdown on that last possession.
Third down and 3. Third down and 3. Cedar Hill from its own 22-yard line. Snap it to Davis. Bounces outside left. Eludes one tackler and has the first down as he gets beyond the 25, out near the 30-yard line. They're going to mark him out of bounds, they say, a little bit back inside that point, back to the 28. So it's a gain of 6. Buck, Barnes, and McFarland on the tackle for the Dragons.
Good patient run by Davis and a nice block by Charleston Rambo. He kind of does the hands up. I didn't, but he knocked the Dragon defender out of the way. 15 first downs now for Cedar Hill, 9 in this quarter.
First down and 10 for the 28-yard line. Here is the handoff, goes to Williams, trying to get around the right end, and he is chased down and eaten alive by Barrett Buck. Look at the little tenacious junior who came in, dropped him for a loss of 4.
You know, Buck seems to have an issue with Kagan. He has hit him a couple times hard, coming downhill on both occasions to blow it up in the backfield. So he'll kind of back behind the chains. This is what you need. You want to make them go the length of the field. No big plays. See if you can force them into the error or get the punt.
Second down, 14. Cedar Hill from its own 24-yard line. 2 receivers either side for the quarterback Davis. Heavy pressure, tucks it, runs straight ahead, marker down. He'll get out to the 30-yard line, but that's thrown right in the middle of the line where you would expect the hold as Jeter and Seacat combine on the tackle.
The offense, number 75. 10-yard penalty, remains second down.
Second and 14 now becomes second and 24.
And they blew the on Mount Zion, Zion Bird. When you're that big, it's hard to disguise your misdeeds along the line of scrimmage.
So that's going to take it all the way back to the 13-yard line.
And yet, this offense is very capable of making up that ground. Carroll defense has not gotten no ability to fall asleep here.
Stewart and Jackson lined up on the right side as the quarterback Davis is now going to empty the backfield. He's the only guy.
That's the quarter.
The quarterback.
It's the end of the
It's the end of the third quarter. Didn't see a flag. It's the end of 3. We'll break here with Carroll 35 and Cedar Hill 33. Can you hold on? In a game that's lived up to its billing, we go to the fourth quarter. Carroll on top of Cedar Hill 35-33. The Longhorns with the football at their own 14-yard line. Second down and 15. And a quarterback draw for Avery Davis next. If anything, as he's jammed up on the Dragon defense after a gain of a yard to the 15-yard line. Whole lot of black jerseys in there. Jeter was in along with McFarland, Seacat as well.
Design keeper all the way. He doesn't even really try to sell the pass. He just quick to turn the field on the quarterback draw, but into the middle of that Carroll defense that had largely stayed at home. There were black jerseys everywhere.
Dragon fans are up and making noise on the near side as they go tight end to the left. 2 receivers either side for Avery Davis and the Cedar Hill offense. Down at 23 yards from the 15-yard line. The Dragons with 4 down linemen, and here they come. Snap to Davis, throws left side, pass is deflected, but it's caught at the 20-yard line. There's a marker down as Williams is going to charge out to the 25. It's a gain of 9. Obi Ebo on the tackle, but again, that pass was deflected. Now let's see what the flag is down on the field, because certainly don't want anything that could be an automatic first down if you're a Dragon fan. Of course, for Cedar Hill.
If it was deflected, you can't call interference.
Well, sure. I mean, it doesn't have to be interference. Could be something else.
On the defense, number 32. It's a 10-yard penalty from the previous spot. It's an automatic first down.
There we go. That's what I was saying.
Yeah.
Well, it's an automatic first down, but get this. It's 13 yards short of what they needed. So the Dragons had them right there. They absolutely had them where they wanted them.
Out of jail now. And sometimes when that happens, bad things come afterwards. Dragon defense needs to buckle down here.
First down and 10 from the 25-yard line. Start the jet sweep motion, and a flag flies as they hand it to Jackson. And now we have a little contact, a little extracurricular at the end of the play.
Prior to the snap, false start on the offense. 5-yard penalty. First down.
So first and 10 becomes first and 15. 10:56 to go fourth quarter. Carroll clinging to a 35-33 lead. The Dragons are up at halftime, 35-21.
But just as on the first, Hill controlled the third. And now the game hangs in the balance.
Carroll snap just plays in the third quarter. Again, that's kind of why they have no points. As this minute drive, it has gone 6 yards to Cedar Hill as the Marcus Ford running play goes at left tackle for about a yard maybe. And 1st and 15 becomes 2nd and 13 and a half. Give him to Barrett Buck on the tackle for Carroll.
So Cedar Hill has had success on the ground in this second half. You're not seeing the long pass plays that they were able to connect on early in the game. Although Davis is still 5 of 5 here in the second half. It's been mostly shorter passes underneath, and it's been a lot of running, but Carroll's defense seems to adjust to that.
Under 10 minutes to go, 4th quarter. Dragons up by 2. 2nd and 13 from the 22-yard line. Here's the snap to Davis. Quarterback tucks it down. Big room up the middle. Goes to the 30. Still running out near the first down stop at the 34, a yard short of what he needed. He got 12 of the 13. Grant McFarland on the tackle. Here comes a huge 3rd down.
And see there again, he had no intention of passing the ball, but he does a better job selling the fake and then darts through a hole.
Cedar Hill 2 of 5 on 3rd down tries, but they converted their last 2 tries. 3rd down and a yard from the 34. Snap it, Davis. Quarterback keep with a lead block. Will have the 1st down across the 35 to the 38-yard line. A gain of 4 on the play. Jacob Murphy on the tackle.
So Davis didn't run the ball a great deal for Cedar Hill in the regular season. He was still the leading rusher, but they didn't carry it as much as they often do with the quarterback. But they have a tendency to kind of take the chains off and let the quarterbacks run in the postseason. And you're seeing Davis play a big part of the ground game here in the second half.
17 first downs for both teams. As now from the 38-yard line, Cedar Hill on 1st and 10, play fake. Davis throws left side, complete at the 45. This is Josh Stewart down the boundary to the 50 and into Dragon territory. He's going to be finally ushered out. Nope, they're going to mark him out back at the 48. Beg your pardon. So that's a 10-yard gain and another Cedar Hill 1st down as Barnes got him across the sideline.
Just a little hook route there out in that hook curl zone in the flat. Nobody on him. Ball not exactly thrown on. Stewart does a nice job adjusting to it, making the catch and picking up 1st down yardage.
Clock stopped, 8:45 to go 4th quarter. Dragons up 35-33. Cedar Hill with the football from the Longhorn 48. Handoff in the backfield, in trouble. Here comes Foreman bouncing outside left. I think there's another flag. There is, right on top of the Dragon at midfield as Barnes made a tackle at the line of scrimmage. As no gain on the play. 3rd quarter numbers, we skipped over those.
The offense, number 52. 10-yard penalty. Remains.
Carroll 395 yards, Cedar Hill 338. And of course, we told you the 1st downs even up now 14 apiece, so it takes it back to the 38-yard line. Penalties adding up now for Cedar Hill. 8 penalties, 77 yards in the game. They had just 3 of those in the 1st half, piling up here in the 2nd. 1st down and 20 from the 38-yard line. Snap it to Davis. Play fake. Looks over the middle. Throws a bullet. Caught at the 50 and immediately knocked down is Jalen Jackson as it's a 12-yard pickup. Jacob Murphy on the tackle, but he's down right at the 50.
Breaks off a post route, has inside shoulder position. Nice delivery on the ball by Davis. Looked like it might have been tipped, kind of wobbly, but he got it where he needed to get it, and now Cedar Hill looking at 2nd and 8.
Carroll's offense needs to get on the field as this defense has been out for a long time here in the second half. Down at 8 from the 50. Snap it to Davis. Fake the handoff, keeps it. Ahead he goes as he gets into Dragon territory down to the 45-yard line. Robert Barnes on the tackle for the Dragons. Here comes a 3rd down. So Davis carrying down to the 45 as he will line up Kagan Williams in the backfield. Calls out the play to his linemen as they were double set, one receiver either way. 3rd down and 3 from the Carroll 45-yard line. 5 up front to the Dragons. Snapping to Davis. Foot race to the right corner. He wins the foot race as he gets down to the 40, and there's a marker thrown as he gets to the 37-yard line. Dragon fans were yelling for a penalty, and I think they got the call here on the near side. It would have been a gain of 7 and a 1st down, but instead, I think it's going to go 10 the other way. Bill Theodore will tell us in just a moment.
Cedar Hill got possession with 2:23 to play in the 3rd quarter.
Holding on the offense, number 24. It's a 10-yard penalty. Remains 3rd down.
Yes.
So that penalty is going to put them back on their end of the field. So they will have had the ball for just about 7.5 minutes, and they are still not in Carroll territory.
Yeah, they're all the way back at their 45.
3rd down and 13. This is what you need.
Big upset. Class 6A Division I of the Kincaid's Hamburger scoreboard. Undefeated Trinity has been knocked off by South Grand Prairie 24-21. Holy cow.
Let that sink in.
Dragons up 35-33. Here's a play fake as Davis throws over the middle. It is dropped down at the Dragon 45-yard line. It was Cameron Buckley who tried to haul it in on 4th and 13. Well, the down box says 4th. It was actually 3rd down. The
now
down
it's
box
4th.
said 4th. Now it's 4th and 13. I was like, come on, man.
A little early switching the down box. He was 7 of 7 in the second half prior to that incompletion. That's his first incompletion of the second half, and it could not have come at a better time. The Carroll Dragon defense has held. Now, guard against the fake punt. We've seen that once before. Again, Carroll has nobody back deep on 4th down.
Well, they're just going to let it roll because it's 4th and 13 at the Cedar Hill 45. They've got All-State punter Murphy to put the right foot into it, and he will punch it down into Carroll territory. It hits at the Dragon 10, takes kind of a sideways roll, and now it goes about a yard back the other way, and Carroll will have it at its 10-yard line after a 43-yard punt. It's the Dragons 35 and the Longhorns 33. We've got Clyde Tire and Service checked in earlier. Big Oklahoma State fan. He's pretty jacked up right now. 1st down and 10 from the 12-yard line, and Carroll running only its 9th offensive play, and they go the Wildcats. Shamar Coleman will be hit right at the line of scrimmage for no gain. Joseph Lamont, that big old 265-pound nose guard, in to make the stop. 2nd down and 10.
Now, Lamont pretty quick for his size, but he is a space eater when he needs to. He was right there.
2nd down and 10 from the 12. Snap it in the Wildcat again. Shamar Coleman comes up, breaks the tackle, 15-20, gets out to the 25. That's good for a 1st down before he's run out of bounds by Dimitri Moore. 15 yards. They move the chains from the 20 out to the 27-yard line.
Just great second effort by Coleman. That play kind of bottled up in the backfield. He breaks it to the outside. 16 carries, now 109 yards on the evening for Coleman.
1st down and 10 from the 27. Coming down the midway point of the 4th quarter. Snap it to Holmes, hand it off. Lil Jordan Humphrey shakes the tackle, the line of scrimmage, but he's running in the interior. We'll get a couple of yards to the 30 before Lamp, number 4 guy in the Cedar Hill class, so he's a guy that's got some smarts in on that tackle for the Longhorns.
So now on the night, both Coleman and Humphrey with 16 carries. Coleman 109 yards, Humphrey 111.
Here is the 2nd down and 8 play, and it's going to be Shamar Coleman on the running play, who gets across the 30 to the 31, gets a yard, so it's going to be 3rd down for the Dragons. Devin Rader was the first one there. DeAndre Carter helping out. So the Dragons going to be facing a 3rd down situation as they'll line up Coleman along with Johansson and Farrar out to the right side. They've got Duhan lined up short side to the left. The Dragons started 4 of 4 on 3rd down tries. Since then, they've got 4 yards on their last 5 attempts, so it's really slowed down on 3rd down here for the Dragons. Clock running, 5:05 to go 4th quarter. 3rd down and 7 from the Carroll 31. 4 across the front. Side handoff, running play, here goes Humphrey. 45-50, 45-40, left sideline to the 30. Run out of bounds at the Cedar Hill 20-yard line. They fooled him as Lil Jordan Humphrey goes 50 yards on a burst down the left sideline. Dylan Baxter on the tackle.
That was a sucker punch. Cedar Hill thinking pass all the way. They see trips right, Duhan backside to the left short side. They put 2 guys on him. The middle of the field was wide open for Humphreys, and he took advantage of it.
Dragons are inside the red zone at the Cedar Hill 19-yard line. They go now into the 2-back set as they'll have Humphrey and Coleman either side of quarterback Mason Holmes, and they'll hand it off to Humphrey, and he gets stopped for a loss of a yard, maybe a yard and a half, back outside the 20. Carter and Hall and on the tackle is Lil Jordan Humphrey, now 18 carries, 160 yards. Also has a couple of touchdowns in there.
2 rushing, 1 receiving. He's had one heck of a night. Carroll being real deliberate. They're not too concerned about tempo. They're letting clock run down. Under 4 minutes now to play in this game.
Well, a touchdown here
Church.
could be. From the 20, here's the snap to Holmes. Handoff, here goes Coleman. Behind his blocking, comes left inside the 20, gets down to the 15-yard line. A gain of 4 on the play as Jackson and Rader on the tackle. Now comes a third down of the game. The Dragons are going to need about 7 yards. The thing is, if you get stopped here and have to settle for a field goal, and they're certainly within field goal range, then that leaves Cedar Hill the door open that a touchdown could win it. But we're down to 3:20 to go in the fourth quarter. Dragons up by 2, 3rd down and 7 at the Cedar Hill 16. They play off the left side hash. Stay with a 2-back set. Humphrey and Coleman, either side of Holmes. Long look to the near sideline. They're down to 2, down to 1, and they're going to have to call a timeout here. And we'll break with them. 3:06 to go in the fourth. Dragons 35, Longhorns 33. Well, the Dragons are going to go out of the Wildcat formation. They're going to snap it to Shamar Coleman. He gets a lead block as he comes left and charges inside the 15, gets down near the 10-yard line, actually going to down at the 11. It's a gain of 5, 2 yards short. What do you do with 2:54 remaining? The Dragons up by 2, but it's 4th down and a couple.
And that's probably exactly what Coach Wasson and his staff were talking about on the sidelines during the timeout. It looks like they've called 2 plays in a row. Offense is staying out here on 4th down. They're rolling dice. They're going to try to put this thing away right here.
Well, here we go. 2nd down. Beg your pardon. 4th down and 1. As the snap from the 11-yard line, they hand it off. Big fella Humphrey charges inside the 10, and he's got the first down to the 7-yard line. That is a 4-yard run by Lil Jordan Humphrey. Rader and Hall on the stop, and with 2:25 remaining in the fourth quarter, the Dragons are 1 step closer as they convert for their 4th consecutive 4th down tonight.
And now, how big is that timeout Cedar Hill had to burn in the third quarter? If they get the ball back, they're either going to have to start thinking about using them now to preserve clock, or they're going to need them when they get the ball back, and they're going to be down 9 points at a minimum here.
Dragons milking the clock down to 6 on the play clock as they hand it off. Lil Jordan Humphrey trying to bounce outside right. He gets eaten alive and pushed back by Colby McGarry. Wow, what a play by the safety. Comes up and knocks down Lil Jordan Humphrey, and Cedar Hill takes timeout. 1:56 to go, fourth quarter. Cedar Hill has just used its 2nd timeout. They've got 1 left, and the Dragons are the 2nd and 8. And the Dragon offense charges back out onto the field. Crowd roars on the near side as they go into the Wildcat set from the 7-yard line. Here is the snap to Coleman, and he's going to go straight ahead inside the 5 down to the 4-yard line. And Cedar Hill uses its final timeout after a gain of 4. Xavier Hall on the stop for the Longhorns.
Here we go.
This drive started at the Carroll 12. This is the 12th play of the drive. 3rd down and goal to go from the 4. Out of the Wildcat. Snap it, Lil Jordan Humphrey. Ooh, he's met at the line of scrimmage, and he's buried for nothing. Greg Jackson and DeAndre Carter on the tackle for Cedar Hill. And now you've got an interesting decision if you're the Carroll Dragons. They're leading by 2. Cedar Hill cannot stop the clock, so it's going to go down to about a minute. By the time that the Dragons have to snap this play, do you kick a field goal and go up by 5? Or do you try to punch it in from 4 yards out? That's your decision.
Yeah, and even if you fail at that, they've got a very long field. They have got to go what will amount to 95, 96 yards with no timeouts and about a minute to play.
Well, the Dragons are going to let the clock run out. So a short break here, and we've got the play of the game coming. Breath, people. Timeout called by the Dragons. They've got 1 left. It's Carroll 35. It's Cedar Hill 33. 1:01 left, and here is the season for one of these teams. The Dragons are going to say no thanks to the field goal. They go for it. Leading by 2. 4th down and goal to go from the 4-yard line. Mason Holmes looks to the near sideline for the play. 2 receivers left and right. They snap it to him. He throws for the end zone. The pass is intercepted, but the tackle made at the 1-yard line. That's better than an incomplete pass. He was picked off by Jamil Moore. Lil Jordan Humphrey made the tackle, but Cedar Hill now has the ball at its own 1-yard line with no timeouts remaining. 54 seconds left, but here's the kicker. They only need a field goal to win the game. 35-33 Dragons. They went for it on 4th and goal at the 4. And Cedar Hill with the interception. Jameel Moore with the pick. And here we go. Cedar Hill 99 yards away from the Dragon goal line.
This is an historic moment for Cedar Hill. If they make this happen, a 99-yard drive, this is going to be something that gets talked about forever. Carroll Dragon defense just needs to stand tall, hold this lead for 54 more seconds.
Avery Davis is going to take the shotgun snap 5 yards deep in his end zone. He's got the running back beside him, and the snap goes through his hands out of the back of the end zone, and that's a safety. Oh, boy! And that essentially could be the ball game. Now, Cedar Hill will have to kick the football from its own 20. They can try the onside kick, but the Dragons now lead it 37-33 with 52 seconds remaining.
You know, we'd seen high snaps all night. Davis is athletic enough. He didn't let any of them get by him. That one was tall. He wasn't even able to jump and get that. But you could just see the look of utter disgust as he could see the ball just sort of rolling around past the end zone.
Duff's Famous Wings brings you a sideline update with Travis Smith.
It had been 20 years ago that the Carroll Dragons last lost a first-round playoff game. And with the situation that just happened at the end of this one, boy, it looked like they were nipping at a first-round loss. But, guys, it takes mistakes and penalties that kind of keep you in this game, and that was the biggest mistake of the game tonight.
37-33, Dragons up, 52 seconds left. As the Dragons setting up for the onside kick here that they know is coming. They've got one deep man, but Cedar Hill is going to try the onside. Coleman is the deep man for the Dragons at the Carroll 35-yard line. Here is Maverick Monte, the onside kick, the 30 line to the Dragons have covered it. The Dragons have the football, and they're going to do it as Jack Johansson, the one who got the, and with 49 seconds remaining quarter, it looks like, barring a miracle by Cedar Hill, that the Carroll are going to survive at home tonight.
This is about the most ending that you and I have witnessed. Fake punt in Old Stadium, 10 years ago.
It's been a as the Dragons are going to come out and go into the sprint formation. Kind of strange when you've got 15 yards behind the line of scrimmage, snap it, and the clock at 44 seconds and 43 and 42.
They'll have to snap it one more time.
One more time, because there's a difference of 3 seconds between the game clock and the play clock. And the Carroll Dragons, folks, are getting ready to go to 9-2 and eliminate the two-time defending state champ. How about that? One more snap, down to 20 seconds. And there is a leap over the line by one of the Longhorn defenders. That was Dimitri Moore as they snapped it to home to the knee. The clock is running. Cedar Hill is helpless to stop the clock. They're out of timeouts, and the Carroll Dragons celebrating as the clock hits 0, and Carroll has eliminated the two-time defending state champions from Cedar Hill. The final score, the Dragons 37 and the Longhorns 33.